gold jacket, green jacket, who gives you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Jacket, Green Jacket podcast. We're here again for episode number 4. Joel Mitchell is with me, Australian PGA professional. How you doing, my friend?
Amazing.
You good?
Good to go.
Very
Good to go.
good. Now, we've got a lot on the menu today, guys, so we're going to get stuck straight into it. But first and foremost, there's a couple beers on the table for the first time in our existence, and probably for good reason, because you had yourself a couple of little achievements, some accomplishments this week.
Yep.
Do you want to care to tell us what those were?
Yeah, a couple minutes on that. So last year I had quite a successful year in terms of performance. Put my head down a lot and played a lot of golf. Quite a few really good wins too. A couple interstate actually. Quite a few Pro-am wins as well. Played every Monday event I possibly could with the PGA. So
Those Monday events. I remember the drives home from those Monday events. You're ringing me going,
listen to this.
listen to this story.
Yeah, it was either I won by 7 or I hate this place. It was like it was no real in between.
No.
Anyway, and there's something called the Order of Merit, which is basically every associate or every trainee that plays. It's like a mini trainee tour sort of thing. Every Monday you play an event. You have your bigger events throughout the year. You have your major tournaments like the Vic State Champs. You have your state championships, and then you have nationals, which is let's go with the masters of it all sort of thing. Let's go with that. And the Monday events, I played every one of them I could. I probably missed about 4 or 5 of them. But nonetheless, my rankings for it were quite good, I'd say.
Quite good. Very good.
And good enough to actually be crowned the Order of Merit winner in Victoria for last year. So
Congratulations, my friend.
it was, which is good. So
That's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. Hat tip. No, so that was good.
And you also took out the Associate Pro-am of the Year.
Yes. So within that, I ran a Pro-am pretty much this time last year.
Which is very on topic as well for this week.
Exactly, which is good. So I ran a Associate Pro-am late Feb last year, 28th, I believe it was, or something like that. And the amount of work that went into that, I didn't realize. Well, I wanted to go above and beyond with it, especially.
Yeah.
I wanted to go, guys, this is the event sort of thing. So plenty of sponsor help, which was good. Had a major sponsor that really we wouldn't have gotten over the line if he didn't do what he did in terms of financials and the people he got for it, which was awesome, which sort of opened me up to really get some prizes going and actually get some structure for the event, which was awesome. The from start to finish was perfect. It was sort of like the Berg Pro-am that I explained last episode. It was sort of, you come in there, it's all catered for. There was breakfast. There was little marquees up on 1 and 10, like little sort of just drinks in an esky, and that's all it really was. But it was enough, you know what I mean? So they were being catered for, and it was a really good event. Had the function afterwards, which was basically speeches. So I was up there for 90% of the time, going over the day, going over the amateur winners, passed it over to Garth, who did the PGA results, which didn't take long. It only took a couple minutes doing that. So there was plenty of good prizes. The nearest to pin on the shootout for the amateurs was a new Bushnell V6.
Jesus, okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably
V5, sorry.
Retailing at about what?
600.
600 bucks.
So
that's a pretty good price, especially
for
up and coming aspiring professionals.
Do you know what the shootout was? Where it was from?
I know what Berg's one was pretty cool.
Yeah. So the shootout at Rosanna that I had was, for anyone that's playing Rosanna, it was from the back of the 10th tee, so back left of the 10th tee to the 18th green.
18th green.
Like 65, 70 meter wedge shot downhill. Sick shot.
Yeah,
it was
nice.
So cool.
I thought it would have been from like back of the 10th tee box almost to like, it's a bit short to 9.
To like 9, yeah. We're either going to do back of 1 to 9 or 10 to 18, but people were up on a balcony, so you had a good view of it.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway, and my event, I didn't know this, was actually the first one that actually had amateurs do the pro shootout as well. It's usually just a pro shootout. Yeah, and the pro shootouts get, first place gets $250 cash or something like that. And I think that's what they got actually. Anyway, and yeah, that got a great rap. And with the 3-course meal afterwards, I was lucky enough to be awarded the Pro-am of the Year.
Yeah, that's sick. That's
which
so
I was
sick.
stoked. I actually got a call being on one of the greens at Heritage by Garth going, "Hey mate,
Congratulations,
congrats!" But you, bro, I'm like, "Oh, sick! I've just got to hit a birdie putt real quick." Missed it, fuck.
Well,
but yeah, that was awesome. So
well done, mate. Because that is, I know pretty much firsthand how your year went last year. We had a lot of discussions, and being a good mate of yours, it's been awesome to see where you have gone in the last 3 years, but especially last year with the sheer just drive in your game and all the accomplishments you've made. It's a credit to you, mate, and it's thoroughly deserved. So
you know what I didn't know? That I had 6 total, six wins on a Monday event and 2 interstate. So one was the WA state champs and the other one was the Wagga Wagga Pro-am.
Oh, nice.
Associate Pro-am. And then I had 6 in Vic. And then to follow that, I didn't know this, nor did I track it. I was just going out and playing best I could. I had 18 top 5s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's consistent.
Which I didn't know. That even surprised me. I'm like, whoa.
That doesn't surprise me all that much, because thinking back at it now, looking at some of your results, I kept track of all your results last year, just week by week, and I noticed that you were, if not winning, like you had 5 wins, you said 6 wins,
6 Vic wins,
yeah, 6 Vic wins, and if you weren't winning, you were pretty close too. Even some of the results you shared were where you came second by like a shot.
Yeah,
after
that
a
was
bit
like
of a stinker.
Vic state champs or something like
so
that. That one was one of my.
So it was a very consistent year for you. But you mentioned the Pro-am, and we are going to wrap up our little 2-week thing, a 2-week recap, sort of preview recap on the Heidelberg Golf Club Pro-am.
My favorite events were the Pro-ams.
Yeah.
They were my favorite events because the courses were Mickey Mouse.
Absolutely.
Like one of my wins was at Royal.
Yeah.
It's my favorite golf course on the planet. Royal Melbourne West. Oh my God. And was lucky enough to win there.
Yeah, there you go.
It was awesome. So
even better. And that sort of leads us swiftly on to, like I said, the Heidelberg Golf Club Pro-am that was last Friday, the 1st of March.
We gave everyone a rundown last week.
Yeah, we
sort of
previewed the absolute nuts off it last week and really sort of tried to build up as much anticipation for it as we can in such a short period of time between episode release and event. You were away. You had a wedding interstate, which was fine, but I was there on the day, and
I think you were the most excited about it than anyone.
You know what?
You were the most excited, and you weren't even playing.
No. I mean, again, I was... I'll tell a story. I was this close in the end. I thought I started the week being like, I'm this far away, and I finished like I was at the club almost like 1 foot out the door of the pro shop being like, am I going to get my clubs out of the car or what?
Yeah.
It was that close.
They probably just had to confirm numbers.
Yeah, correct. Well. But I went I was always going to go. I had the day off work, luckily. And I'll say this, and I'll try and keep my bias out of it as a member, but what a day.
Yeah.
What a day.
I told you.
This year, and I was there last year as a volunteer. I saw half the day last year. I was there for a good 7-8 hours or 6.5, 7 hours Friday this year.
Around. Well, you only did drinks cart really.
For 4 hours in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
which you saw
and
enough.
then I went home. So,
you saw enough.
But just gone last week, I was there for 7 hours, and it was honestly such a good event. I grabbed some interviews with some people, and I'll get into those a little bit. Sorry?
Those were funny. Yes.
They were hilarious. Cam Kelly, massive shout out to you. We put it on our socials. But I did get a couple other interviews, one with Cam and another mate of ours, Toby Walker.
Yeah.
Just off the putting green, and then another one with one of the organisers, Tony Shaw. I don't think I took them with all intent to include them in today's episode. I don't think we will. I don't think the quality is up to standard in terms of audio. I don't think the audio is that great.
Okay.
But I'll run through them. Basically,
like little mics.
Yeah, we're gonna have to invest in something like that just
if
for the
we do
future.
more of it.
It was super last minute. Our involvement this year, and again, thank you to the club for allowing us to be a part of it. It was really special for us. But yeah, I don't think the quality of those interviews in terms of audio and stuff is going to be suited for this. So we'll just run through them quickly. Like I said, I spoke to Tony Shaw, who's, former, Collingwood champion and all that kind of stuff, but now has been a member at Heidelberg for a number of years. And he's been organising it for the last 12. One of the key organisers, along with other people at the club, but Tony's sort of been the man who's sort of driven the Pro-am and, gotten a lot of the sponsors involved and really made really made it important for like the Pro-am to include the members. The entire morning field of our Pro-am at Heidelberg is dedicated for the is set aside for members. Yeah. There are no sponsors in the morning field.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so the morning field, the members
is just members.
Buy
members
into,
and pros.
They buy into it.
They buy into it.
Yeah.
They pay their prices and they buy in and they play.
What would it be, like $150 a head? for a day?
I think it was a bit more than that.
Bit more.
I think it was around about that $200.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be knocking on the door. Of
Which
that.
is still, for the day that you get, after seeing what I saw, pretty worth it, I
No,
think.
absolutely. Does that give him a ticket to Birdcage?
I don't know if it did this year, but I'm imagining that in future years, which
Surely they put
it'll
that
get
in.
him there.
Yeah.
We'll touch on the Birdcage in a minute, but yeah, Tony was just really thankful for all the sponsors, De Bordeley, PFD, Batocchi, Northern Motor Group. They were all there and representing, and it was great. I then spoke to Cam Kelly and Toby Walker, a couple of what I would consider local boys for us. Toby
Yeah,
obviously
Toby
spent his whole
especially.
junior
Toby
career at the
especially,
club, and
yeah.
Cam coming over from Perth.
Yeah.
Had spent most of his time at Heidelberg and uses our facilities as his sort of home base for now.
Yeah.
But they were just really keen to get inside, get back on the golf course and get playing.
Yeah.
They were excited for the challenge of that golf course that it can pose, because the greens on the day were rock hard and super
would've
slick.
been red hot. That's what Cam said. I spoke to Cam on Sunday at a pennant game.
Yeah.
I was asking him how was it. He goes, man, it was really good. He goes, the greens were firm and slick, and he goes, what they have out of interest?
Cam,
What they shoot?
Cam didn't. I don't think Cam had the best day. I think he might have had 5 or 6 over. Toby, I think, had 70. Toby had 71. For
Oh,
the day.
good. Okay.
So Toby's, and the thing with Toby as well, he had just driven back from Newcastle the night before. 12-hour drive home, got home at 1:30 in the morning, quick nap essentially,
yeah,
and then
post under par.
and to shoot one under par was a pretty big effort from him. But he knows that golf course like the back of his hand. So
He's shot every number around there, hasn't he?
But overall, mate, it was just a fantastic day. And that Berg cage that we had, which was like a party hole thing next to the 5th tee box behind 10.
Yeah, that little open sort of space.
Yeah, it's a sort of a dead area of the golf course, but not dead in terms of it's
Is it just
died.
next to that path, or is it in between the 10th
Right next
and
to
18th?
the path. Right next to the path. Behind 10 tee box, in between 10 tee box and 5 tee box.
In between?
Yeah. Right.
Where the trees are?
No, there's like a little bush off to the side a little bit. But then, like, yeah, I know you're struggling to think of it, and I'll explain it to you off mic. But it's literally right next to the 5th tee box. So if you walked up the path next to 5 and just stepped onto the tee box, it's literally the other side of the path. It was right there.
Right.
So
I must be thinking of like.
You must be missing some space. I
Yeah,
reckon.
I've got some dead space in my head that
Yeah.
I don't think's there. Okay.
I don't think it's ever been there. But honestly, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Natalie Stewart, who was one of the key organisers of that, and her husband Andy were awesome. They had everything ready to go. We had a DJ who was there playing some tunes.
DJ Fish?
No, I wish it was
Damn
Fisher.
it, that
It
would've been
wasn't,
cool.
but he did a great job. There was alcohol, there was food, and literally, I spent the first 3 hours of the day sat, no joke, from me to the camera away from the blokes on 10 hitting their tee shots.
That's cool.
Like this far away. Like there were times where I was like leaning back, thinking that the club was going to click me in the nose.
Yeah, you kind of see those on those PGA Tour events where they have those boards set up on each hole, and there's
Yeah.
people like leaning over it, and it looks like the club head's going to nip them in the nose. And
Correct.
like-
And that's what it felt like.
It's cool.
And it was very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's cool.
And, you know, me and the boys, I was with the boys from Half Calf Golf, Nashi in particular, we're just giving them stick.
did anybody put it on the range?
No, but a couple tried to hit over the range and go for the green. Toby was one of them.
Oh, of course. But Toby has that length. Not
So
many do.
a few of them did.
Not many do.
I saw 2 of, I don't remember who, I think, what's Finley? What's his last name?
Bellingham?
Maybe.
Tall guy?
Yeah, Callaway dude. Plays.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've seen. I think his Instagram is Big Bird Golf.
Yeah. Finn Bellingham. Yeah.
He hit the crispest 4-iron, like to where I put my 3-wood, and it made me upset. It made me and Nash from Half Calf were just sitting next to each other, and he's hit this ball, and I goalpost height the whole way.
Yeah.
And I looked at Nash, and I was like, "We're never doing that." It was just something else.
Do
The
that
ball
with
struck-
60 degree out of a bunker.
Yeah, legit. See, if I thin a wedge through a green, that's the height it came out at, and it went 230. But no, it was honestly awesome. Well, I was in the putting comp. Chris Sayer ran a putting comp on the putting green, set up a little 9-hole course, elimination. Like, it was awesome. I got to the semis of that, got knocked out by the winner, so you can't knock.
Okay, that works.
I'll take that. It was, I'm in the top 4
Hats
putters
off-
in the
hats
golf
off to
club.
that.
Thank you very much.
Fucking please.
But that was cool. $500
pennant
bucks.
team next year.
There was a $500 prize on your shop
that's
account,
good.
thanks to LA Flooring, which was really nice. And by the time the putting comp was wrapped up, the noise out of that party hole, the bird cage, was off chops.
Yeah, it was off its head.
There was 60 people probably watching the golf from down 9, up 10,
Yeah,
up
yeah,
18
yeah.
and down 5. And then there was also just like 40 people, 30, 40 people just sitting at the table.
Just having a watch.
Having a wine.
Yeah.
Or, a drink of sorts and just having a chin wag and just not necessarily.
I wish it was
paying
there
atten-
last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't there last year.
From all accounts, it's going to be there in the future.
Oh, good.
Next year, and I said this to a couple of the boys in the pro shop on the weekend, they organised an event of that quality off maybe a couple of months of planning. If they've got 12 months now to plan next year, it's going to be.
They don't need that though.
They don't need it, but because I don't think there's not much improvement on what they had.
Well, you don't have to. There's things like it's a 1-day event. Like you're not going above and beyond and making it a 10-hour day for some of these guys. You're there longer doing other stuff than you're playing golf. It's not really what you want to do.
And they had all intentions of leaving it up because we hosted Women's Pennant on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they had tried.
Good idea.
They tried to leave it up and incorporate into Women's Pennant for Sunday, but the weather on Saturday was a bit blustery, and they were worried that the marquees were going to fly away, so they had to take it all down, unfortunately. But honestly, for the Pro-am and the purposes of that, it was top notch.
Yeah, good. Oh well,
Can't fault it.
Hopefully it's there. Well, yeah, like I said, I wish it was there last year, so I could have seen it, and get heckled by you.
You'll be there again next year with me. We'll be doing a few things and with the half calf boys, I'm sure, and we'll be smashing it.
Fingers crossed I'm playing.
But yeah, thank you again to of course you want to be playing in it. Thank you again to the Heidelberg Golf Club for including us in the day in our own small way. We apologise again for not being able to incorporate the videos, the interviews that we did take.
In future we will. Well, it was cool.
It's a learning point for us.
It was cool to see on the sponsor board.
Yeah,
That
was a special touch.
there, like right in the middle.
I had a little
Nice
little flutter in the heart with that one. That meant a lot to me.
Woo.
Yeah, legit. So yeah, all in all, the Pro-am was awesome, and I'm really looking forward to next year as well.
Yeah.
Now, last week we focused a lot on my journey through golf, and we said it was a two-parter, and that's why we're here. This week it's your turn. Now we've had a discussion this week off camera and off microphone about how we're going to structure this, and
Yes.
your journey between sort of that high 20s to low singles is pretty similar to mine.
Yeah, so the same idea is
Just a lot shorter from what I heard.
Oh, yeah, not really. It's the same idea though. Like the same principles are there in terms of dropping from a mid-20s to a 10 sort of thing, or what the real difference is. And like you said last year, it's literally recapping for last year. Yeah, last week. It's simple. It's literally just recapping what you basically said.
Yeah,
was those mistakes have to be limited. You know, you have to figure out how to score from a spot that you've disadvantaged yourself in a way. For example,
turning a negative into a positive.
Exactly. Maybe a poor tee shot, you put it into the trees, you're able to find a gap, bind it out to 30 meters off the green, and make your up and down.
Yeah.
Right. And limit that mistake. You know, don't go for the hero shot. If you play off 15, don't go for that hero shot, because you might pull it off 1 out of 10 times, and those 9 out of 10 times you make an 8. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's like, as much as you want to earn, as much as you see it on TV,
try and avoid it.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So
with you then, I think we're better off delving into sort of that low singles to scratch and then into the pluses.
Yeah. So I'll quickly do 5 to 10 minutes of just the backstory of where the mentality and stuff was built from.
Yeah, and that's the part that intrigues me the most.
I give credit to Huntingdale.
Yeah,
90% of it is Huntingdale.
So you were on a scholarship at Huntingdale.
Yes. So when I was 12, when I was 11, I played just the junior event. Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 years ago, yep.
Fuck, I did. So yeah, when I was 11, Jesus, that was over 10 years ago. Played in the little Huntingdale sort of junior open or junior masters. What?
When I was 11, that was just over 10 years ago. It was, mate.
You were 11 2 centuries ago. Fuck.
Exactly. It makes me feel old. Move on.
That was the point.
I know.
I played in that little junior masters or whatever it was, and when I was 11, I would have been playing off maybe high teens, mid-teens or something like that, to high teens, I reckon, 10 or 11 years old, and I played in that, and I didn't actually feel like I shot that great of a score. I reckon I shot like mid-80s or something like that, mid to high 80s. Net score was 72 to 74, if I had to guess. I could not tell you.
Yeah.
To save myself, couldn't tell you. And it would have been 2 months later, 3 months later, I'm getting in mum's picking me up from school. and I'm in year 7 at this point.
Okay, so 13.
So no, 12 because I was 17 in year 12.
Oh, yeah,
so I was
okay,
a
you're
year,
underage.
sort of like a year younger.
Yeah, you're bottom age.
Yeah, exactly, bottom age. And I get in the car and she hands me this envelope and it had the little Huntingdale symbol on it. So I'm like, maybe it's just like a thank you letter or something like that. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I open it up and it says we would like to offer you a place at Huntingdale as part of our six junior scholarship. I'm like, oh, fucking pisser. So it was 3 guys. It was myself, another extremely successful golfer right now in the amateur ranks and going to very soon transition to pro golf is Jasper Stubbs. He was there as well.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay.
he was in the same year that I was, and I've forgotten who the third was. I couldn't tell you. But his sister Piper and 2 others were in there as well. So all 6 of us were sort of there now. We're just there. So
Welcome.
your scholarship lasted 12 months. You got coaching throughout the whole pennant season or junior pennant season. Then the Colt season as well. Full access to the course. It was just free membership, free whatever you want, bar, food and drink.
Yeah, right.
So it was just you had full access to this golf course. To this
Sweet.
world-class
And
golf
what
course.
a golf course.
Oh my God. And I reckon the first year I played, first probably 6 months I played there, breaking 90 was unheard of because this joint was just long. It was hard. There was 57,000 bunkers on this joint. It was impossible, right? So the only way to overcome that, well, I had no choice, really.
Yeah.
If I wanted to play the golf
Figure it
course,
out.
I had to figure it out. I had to hit the ball straight. I had to learn how to get out of bunkers at 12 years old. I had to somehow learn how to score. You know what I mean? And me as a 12-year-old, I'm like, I've already just quit the 2 sports I've been playing previously because I'm like, oh, this is the real deal. I'm thinking I'm turning pro at 12, getting a scholarship there. That's what it felt like. I'm like, oh my God, this is Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, had to just figure it out. And I went from, I remember I played off 12 when I was 12. So I was about 12 and a half years old and I finally played off 12 because that's why you kept telling people, oh, I'm 12 and I play off 12. That's what I sort of said to people and that's what I sort of hung on to. And then couple years followed, you just kept improving, kept practicing, ended up slowly starting to hit the ball a bit further. And I didn't really hit the ball anywhere until probably the last 2 years. Even
you and I are very similar in that. We've had a similar progression in terms of our distance.
I wasn't the longest hitter. I've always played with people that hit it further than me, always. But the closer I got to the green, the better I got, purely because at Huntingdale, that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
I didn't hit the ball far because I was made of nothing. I was 50 kilos soaking wet. Right? I weighed nothing.
Soaking wet with layers on.
Had no club speed, had nothing. Yeah. But I had short game. That's Huntingdale built me. Built me in a way to have this sort of short game. I had no choice because if I was a bigger kid or something that hit it a bit further, I don't think my short game would have evolved as good because I would have hit it further. So I'd rather that than the opposite. You know what I mean? I'd much rather have the short game, and I've sort of kept that standard up. All the way to now.
It's literally you and I. Yes, we've gained a lot of distance equally in the last 2 years, but I'm reversed. So I've always been big off the tee.
Yeah, you've always had that strike.
For what I am,
you've always had that speed.
As a 13-year-old, I was big off the tee as a whatever.
Yeah.
But you put me, like I said last week, right? Everybody hits it the same off the tee, but you put me 50 out of a green.
Yeah.
Up until recently, it was like, oh, he plays off 20.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I figured it out now.
That's the thing.
Smacks
It's
it
like,
a mile, can't hit it 50.
Yeah, nah. See, like if I'd rather, I used to. I'd rather have that 50-meter wedge shot or that 15-foot putt rather than trying to hit a ball 200 meters. So when I was playing, when I was 13 years old.
We'll move on quickly, but I just want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Do you get excited when you have that sort of yardage? Like when you when you zap a flag at 60 out, you go, do you just love that shit?
Yeah.
Because when
absolutely,
I'd zap a par 3 and see 190 and I go, oh, I get to smack 4 iron as far as I can.
You know what? Nah. See, you know why? The reason why I get so excited when I get inside 120 or 125 and in, 125 is about as full as I want to hit a pitching wedge. I don't want to generally try and hit it any further. Yeah. Because one, can't really. And
until
two,
you start losing control.
You lose control. And that it overspins and shit could hit the fan.
Yeah.
So 120 and in, eyes just light up because they're my scoring clubs. Pitching wedge and in, pitching wedge to putter is how you score, particularly off a level that I'm at and a level these tour players. And like I said last week, all of them hit it so similar. They hit it very good, nice and straight, and they're in play. But it's the guys that take advantage of those scoring shots. And then the lower you get and the better you get, the more putting is
Important.
so important.
Yeah.
It is, honestly, no shit, it is 95% of it. Because if you're in form, then the difference between shooting even 1, 2 under as opposed to 5, 6, or 7 is literally holing what I think is like 3 or 4 putts,
Yeah, right.
2 or 3 putts. It's not hitting every fairway. It's not hitting every green. It's not holing out from 100 meters. No, it's literally at that sort of level. And I find it, the consistency comes into it as well. For example, today at Heritage, I hit the ball quite well. I did hit the ball striking was there. I was putting myself in some good positions. Every scoring club that I had, 9-iron and in, pitch and wedge and in, every wedge that I had in my hand, everything felt like I was just not leaving the flag.
Yeah.
And that's what I usually feel like because I'm
Yeah.
confident with those clubs. I practice with those clubs. And like I said, they're my scoring clubs. That's how I'm going to shoot under par, is putting them in a position and in a range from the hole that I can knock a putt in. And if I'm not putting all that great, as long as I keep giving myself that opportunity, something will drop.
Yeah.
It will. It's based on stats. Shout out. Hey, here's your shout out, Ollie. Ollie Dalen, he says this all the time now. He's a junior at Rosanna.
Okay.
Right? Works with us. He's our cart bitch, right? Does an awesome job cleaning. Does an awesome job cleaning them, by the way. Hats off to Ollie, you legend. Right? But here's your shout out, Ollie. Based on stats, he gives me shit all the time for saying that on the green.
Yeah.
Because I've got a 25-footer sliding down the hill, snaking left to right over a bunker. Right, no, I'm kidding.
Right.
But I stand over. I'm like, based off stats, this has to go in, right? And he gives me shit about saying that all the time.
Yeah.
So, but this is legit. Based off,
You can't
say it seriously
You can't
now.
say those
Fuck's
words.
sake.
Based off stats will never be the same again.
if my maths is correct,
If statistics serve me correctly.
exactly. If I keep giving myself that range, they have to drop. It just in my mentality is it has to eventually.
Whatever the stat is, that 20, 25, 30, 40% has to happen eventually.
It will.
Yeah.
Off the standard and the figure that I am and these other tour pros, it has to happen. Even if I'm having a bad putting day. For example, today was I shot 1 under par and I, like I said, couldn't have hit the ball really any better. But nothing went in.
Yeah.
Nothing went in. I hold 2 par saves on 16 and 18 from 8 feet.
Yeah,
and when
right.
that last par putt went in from 8 feet, I'm like, oh my God, that felt like a 30-footer. Right, but I was still able to manage to make 5 birdies for the day, and 3 of them were inside a foot.
Yeah.
But that was the difference from me shooting 5 or 6 under as opposed to 1 under.
Yeah,
Was
right.
just
Okay.
those putts just did not go in, and that's
So-
a huge.
That's mega.
thing.
So what I took away from that is that naturally things are going to improve. If you start
course.
seeing your score drop and that
course.
handicap drop,
Yeah.
it means that you are going to hit more fairways, more greens. You're going to make up and down from bunkers more often. You're going to do all the basics
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
What separates players from being a scratch golfer or a 3 handicapper to being a +5, if correct me if I'm wrong, is the amount of those mid-range, less likely putts that you're dropping.
Yeah, it matters, but I've also played with guys that hole all those putts. Well, feel like they do. That everything inside anything in between 6 and 15 feet looks like they drop everything,
Yeah.
but they shoot 4 over their handicap.
Yeah.
It's because, and that's why they play off in between a scratch and a 5, even though they've hit it so good or feel like they putt so well, is because they don't limit that one mistake within that round or a couple of mistakes.
Yeah.
Right, they don't hit those 2 balls OB, or they don't have that odd 3 putt, or they don't have those 3 shots out of the bunker, or something like that. It's limiting that. So, what I found going from scratch to a +4 or 5 figure is that patience within the round. So I found if I've missed three birdie putts inside 15 feet in the first 6 holes, I'm not thinking in my head, I'm just going to have a bad putting day. or oh, I'm just not going to hole anything today. That's not the mentality. I'm like, no, they will drop. They have to.
Yeah.
If I keep hitting it like this, which I will because I'm a stubborn prick and I refuse not to keep hitting it well, it has to. It just has to. That's my mentality. I'm able to. Well, now I am. I have a confession, by the way.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I know where this is going.
I'll say that in a second. I'm furious about it because I got reminded of it today. I'm absolutely furious. Anyway,
I'm so excited.
Shut up. But it's purely my biggest advice dropping from. So obviously you gave us I wouldn't say advice, but that sort of guidance from your point of view about dropping from that 23 to 5 marker in succession, of course. But dropping from that 5 to scratch, it is just be patient and play within. Obviously, know your ability. So patience is key because I've found there's the amount of times that I've heard guys playing off 1 or 2 that can't quite crack that scratch to pluses. The amount of times they've told me, I was 3 under through 8 today, or 3 under through 5.
Yeah,
like they've just gone out and gone bang bang bang, and then all of a sudden they're thinking they're going to shoot a course record, and they shoot 5 over par. It's they try and shoot that 6 or 7 under within the first 9 holes. It's like, no, it's the same deal. They've started off hot. Hang on, just be patient. Just chill. You will shoot that number. Just hold in, just stay there. Even if you, and then after that 6 holes, they've just fired everything at the flag, everything down the middle. They hit that one little toey little draw, toey little hook into the rough. They flub it out to the front of the green, hit a shit chip shot, make that 5. Now they're fucked. It's gone. Now they go, that round's gone in the bin. I've just fucked it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, that's where that repetition of those couple bogeys come in.
Yeah.
That's what I find the difference is.
It's so interesting to hear you put it like that because we've all been there.
Absolutely.
And all golfers from all handicap levels will have been there where we've spoken about having your day.
Yeah.
When I had mine,
yeah,
right, it felt like everything went right.
Good.
Right? And that's normally how a lot of everyone's day feels like.
Yeah.
You sink every putt, you hit every fairway, you hit every green, you nip every chip. Like it's just perfect.
Everything's perfect, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that word patience...
That's huge.
Huge. I've found myself in the last year, I'll bogey the first hole 9 times out of 10. I might even double it. All right? But then I walk off that first green and I think to myself, well, there's still 17 out there. I've still got to walk the rest of the golf course.
Yeah, of course.
I've got to go hit it just as many times.
Of course.
1 hole doesn't change it. 2 holes doesn't change it. 9 holes might. But if you can get on top of that stuff early and just understand that, hey, all right, patience is key.
Well,
I will do whatever I can in the next however many holes to just keep myself level. Keeping yourself level, I think, is a massive thing.
It's huge.
And keep going.
Yeah, it's so. My biggest advice going from that 5 to 0 is a lot of it's a mentality thing. So it's just obviously if you make that for like guys playing off 2 or 3, if you make double on the first hole, they go, oh, that's my handicap gone. You need to back yourself because playing off that figure, you know how to make a birdie.
100%.
You know how to make 6 or 7 pars in a row or something like that. You know how it feels. So channel it. Just put your head down. Channel
and that is, you say it, it is the hardest
it's impossible.
thing
It's
to
impossible,
do.
but work on it. It won't happen in 1 round.
No.
It took me 6 months to go from that scratch +1. Best I got to was sort of +2 range. And then start of last year, I'm sort of like, fuck it, what am I worried about? Like just
go play.
Just go play and just think like I said, that patience thing, a massive thing. I reckon we talked about this in a previous episode or it was just on the phone, I'm not sure. But the one thing, there was a round last year, I won this Monday match. It was the Lang Lang Open match. Yeah. I think we've touched on this
We
before.
might have touched on this on an episode previously.
Yeah, and that was a turning point in my mentality in terms of scoring, both scoring and just that patience that, like I said, it will come. It will come within the round. There's a lot of holes. 18 holes of golf is a lot.
It's a long time.
A long time. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you let it. If you let it go wrong, it will go wrong. If you manifest that negativity, it will happen. It just will. I promise you. If you birdie the first 2 holes and think, fuck, it can only get worse, it will. Honestly, it will. If I birdie the first 2 holes, I'm thinking, yes, please.
Let's go.
And I'm going out firing after every birdie I can. And if I go birdie, and then go par, throw in a shit scrappy bogey, going, hang on, I should be 3 under instead of 1 under. It's once again, it's that reform. Just gather yourself.
Gather yourself.
I know how to make birdies.
And that sounds. And the reason why I say it's hard is because I've had those days where I feel like that's the mentality, and you know, I've walked off golf courses saying, "Oh, I just wanted to birdie every hole."
Yeah,
go out and just aim at every flag stick, hit it there, and it came off to an extent.
Yeah,
and I played well.
Yeah,
doing that every week.
Yeah.
And it leads me to a question I'm going to ask you. Doing that every week is the challenge for me. And it's a challenge for a lot of other people because it's about time and repetition and how often you get to play.
Of course.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that leads me to my question of, all right, you're doing this and your mentality's changing and you're blitzing it, quite literally. How often are you with clubs in your hand per week to accompany this mentality shift?
Now?
Or let's say in the last 12 months.
In the last 12 months, it's 4 times a week.
Yeah.
It would be. Some days I'll play on a Monday, go ahead, have a hit Wednesday, play on a Thursday, you know, and then have it on the weekend at some stage. Whether that's just to practice 9 holes or something.
Yeah.
Just hitting a golf ball is enough. Even if you're just doing some chipping, hitting a golf ball is enough.
Yeah.
Because you've got that golf club in your hand and you've got that idea of your body moving. Even putting. It's the same idea. You still got a golf club in your hand.
Something's better than nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if it's something tiny, putting in your living room, that's.
I hate it. Can't do it.
I know it sucks.
Ruins my stroke.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's just me. I'm so weird. You'll soon learn how weird
that's
I am.
result based. In your living room, you're looking to hold the putt. That shouldn't be the intention.
No.
That shouldn't be in the intention.
No.
Just having that feeling of making sure the shoulders are straight, everything's sort of lined up, and the feelings are there. And that's another thing I'll touch on, holding on to feelings.
I said it last week, trust the feeling.
Getting too technical can really make you go downhill because once again, the golf ball doesn't give a fuck what your golf swing looks like. Doesn't care.
No.
Doesn't care what you're thinking. If that club face meets it at impact and it's going straight, the ball's going to go straight. It doesn't matter how it gets there. So trust the feeling. Everyone wants their swing to look like Adam Scott's, but it won't. No one does. Just stick to that feeling. If you get a weird feeling in your swing and it looks a bit funny on camera or something like that, but you nut it, stay with it. You might think it looks ugly, but who gives a fuck? You're beating the clown next to you that is doing swing videos, trying to get his swing high hands and make it look like Justin Thomas. It won't happen.
No.
If you're beating him, well, you're one step ahead. He's going backwards.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing from start of last year, going from that scratch to the +4, is hanging on to that feeling. And trusting it, honestly trusting it. So I feel like my swing now looks worse than it did when I was 16 or 17 because I did try to hang on to that idea of I want that Adam Scott swing. I want it to look good.
Yeah.
But now I'm sort of like, no, I'm going to hang on to what works. So honestly, I have a different feeling with every club.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that hurt your head a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Because
So
I thought I was weird. That's weird.
I hit 4-iron differently than I hit 5-iron. I hit my 8-iron different to hit my 9-iron because they are different clubs.
They are.
They're different lengths. Yeah. They're different feelings. They're slightly different weight. You probably might not feel it. It's a couple grams, but it is. They are different golf clubs. You have to have a different feeling for a different club. And you have to understand within yourself how to incorporate that into a round. So if you've now hit 3 snap hooks with driver and you change to a 3-wood, you know how to hit your 3-wood. So don't incorporate that same snap hook swing that you did with your driver.
Golf swing.
Exactly. Isolate everything. You've now got a different shot with a different club from a different distance with a different lie. So don't incorporate a previous bad swing with that next shot. So that's a huge thing as to being patient. Once again, you hit 3 poor tee shots. Well, go back to your feelings. Go back to what works.
Yeah.
Go back, and a huge thing to do that is routine. Routine is huge. Stick to that same routine every single time. Yeah. Practice, play, or fuck around. Do the same thing. That little trigger within your swing. So I do this weird thing with driver where I sort of tap it a couple times as I take it back.
You do this and it nuts. It pisses me off.
Why?
I don't know.
Does it work?
It makes me think you're uncomfortable.
Nah. That I won't be able. If I do left the club there and then take it back, I'm out of sync. I'm out of sync.
Yeah, you need to be a bit of...
It needs to be, something needs to be moving, and then I can activate it. Or, you know, a little forward press within the putting stroke to get the club head start going back. Like, incorporate your own feelings within your golf swing and hang on to what works. Hang on to that feeling within your hands, within your body. Hang on to what works, because I promise you, everyone has a different feeling. Everyone. What?
I'm going to shoot fucking 4 under on the weekend. It's like, honestly, because you know why? Because in the last 6 weeks, I have battled time and time again with my own golf swing. And we had a conversation on the phone this afternoon while you were driving here, right? I've almost got the yips with driver. It's not that bad, but it's like, I don't know where it's going. I stand up to every tee box. I don't know where it's going. Cool. But routine's out the window. The feelings are gone. And you've just opened my mind to everything. I'm like,
I guarantee you.
Who knows where it's going to go? Because nothing is set before I even stand up.
There you go.
To
You're standing there and swinging.
Yeah.
You're standing there and swinging.
I may as well be hitting balls at the range.
Well,
into a paddock.
That's another thing. I guarantee you're putting the ball down. You're standing behind it, just looking there, going, and just stand there and just hitting it.
Yeah, legit.
You don't need to overthink it. You don't need to overthink it. Overthinking it is where you go downhill as well. So you got to find that happy medium. And like I said, it won't happen with one golf swing. It just won't. I promise you, it won't. But I have the same exact routine with every club every time, whether I execute it or not. It's the same. So, and that's when your dispersion go.
And I think a lot of people will underestimate how important a pre-shot routine is, or how many people will think they have a good pre-shot routine but don't. James Evans, I once had this conversation with him. James Evans is another member at Heidelberg who's now playing out at Morningside in the States, college golfer. And he asked me one night, we ran into each other at the range, and he asked me, he's like, what's your pre-shot routine? And I told him, and he goes, that's not a pre-shot routine.
You need to have some sort of visualization. You need to have a feeling. And you need to understand when you're setting up to that golf ball, you need to understand what feeling will create what shot. So if you're hitting what, like you said, you don't know where the ball's going.
No idea.
Well, that's trial and error. What feeling creates a shot? What feeling within your stance or swing creates that shot that's a little peely fade to the right, or the club face is getting closed at impact? Just trial and error. Change something within your stance. Slightly tweak the grip a little bit. Take the club back slightly different.
Yeah.
And that then relates to, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Just change some sort of feeling and get that ball going straight somehow. Just figure it out.
Sometimes reinventing the wheel doesn't need to happen.
Well, there you go.
In fact, almost all the time, reinventing the wheel should not be an option.
It's like trying to make the wheel more round.
How can you do it?
It's already good as it is. It rolls. So work with it.
So from zero to where you are now, it's, again, diving deep into the feelings and really understanding what works for you. It's also having the patience to understand that the good golf is coming.
It will happen.
It will happen.
It will happen. Even if it doesn't happen within those first 6 holes, I promise you it will happen.
And that links in nicely to then not expecting, that's the wrong word. We don't want to expect anything, but knowing that, yes, the good shots are coming, the good putts are coming, and that you're only 2 or 3 away from really going like bunter.
Yeah, exactly. And it's investing yourself within each golf shot. And there was a method that was put on tour, or not even put on tour, it's been put out there that everyone knows about. It's a switch on, switch off, right? I wouldn't say I don't believe in that, but I definitely believe you don't have to switch off, but I definitely believe there's a switch on to a shot. So a certain shot, for example.
It's a switch on and then it's a dial back slightly.
And then it's a dial back because you're not thinking about a shot. You can obviously analyze what shot you've just hit and think to yourself. And that's another thing. You got to understand what you might have done wrong or right.
Yes.
And if it's done right, hold on to that feeling. Just hold on to it. Just stick with it. So I have this weird little bob down thing that I do within my hips when I do a long putt. Specifically just a long putt. Okay. I feel like I get lower and that activates my take back. And the first 4 or 5 times I did this little feeling it was for speed control to get this ball within that little foot circle that I want.
In the friendship circle.
Within that from that 30-foot range, I just stick with that feeling. I don't know why it works.
But it works.
It works. It makes that ball go next to that hole. If I set up perfectly, feel like straight, perfectly in line, and then just hit it, I can't control the speed because it's not within that feeling that works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not within that feeling that I'm like, okay, I understand how this works, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm shooting 4 under on the weekend. I don't care what anyone says.
There's-
I'm going to put in some stuff. I think it's going to work.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's so
And if I don't shoot the score, don't hold me to it.
to sum up, basically, I'm not sure how much information everyone's got out of that because it's not swing tips, it's not how to hit draws or fades.
It's not a routine. It's not a daily routine. It's
not
honestly
that.
just having a 100% investment in the quality of your own golf game.
Exactly that. And once again, I'm going to say this. We're going to say this time and time again. It's that shot isolation and understanding how to hit each shot.
How to hit the next shot too.
Exactly. How to hit that next shot that you've got and executing it.
Yep.
If you like executing it to absolute your full potential and trusting. Just honestly, back yourself.
Back yourself.
Just back yourself. And if it doesn't work, well, fuck, you tried.
You tried.
And
Keep trying.
And if a simple little swing feeling doesn't work, don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Nah,
if it doesn't work, don't do it.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I said last week.
Simple as that.
When the feelings feel good, stick them in the game. When they feel, use them until they stop working. When they stop working, bin them.
And another one is results based as well. Don't get too hung up on hitting that little tight draw that you want to hit. If you hit fades, stay with fades.
Yeah.
Just figure out how to get that ball in the hole in the least times possible.
With a fade.
Just
very good. Very good. Now,
really say.
I think that was really insightful. Not probably what a lot of people were expecting.
No.
As we said, but really, really insightful.
Because it was pretty simple, wasn't it?
So simple. It just goes back to the fact of it doesn't matter how good you are or you want to be. If you do the basics right, and the basics change for everyone, I feel.
Of course.
But if you do your basics right,
yeah,
you can progress forward.
Swing your own swing. There was a huge thing that Jim Furyk's coach, I think it was his old man actually, that Jim Furyk is one of the most unorthodox swing, second to probably Matt Wolf.
Yeah.
But it's the most unusual sort of swing. He stands very close to it. The club is vertical at
I've been told I
swing.
swing it like Jim Furyk.
You did in early days, you did.
Yeah.
You're a bit more on plane now.
Yeah.
In terms of like that textbook quality, but
Yeah.
you were very Jim Furyk at the start. That hands got high at the impact and then you dropped it in sort of thing. But Jim Furyk always said that his old man said, I'm not going to change your swing. I'm just going to perfect it.
Yeah.
So that's huge. So it doesn't matter how it looks. Just perfect his own those feelings within that golf swing and execute a shot. You know how to hit a shot. And for those guys that are at a low figure, one thing might not be playing often enough. That's huge. I do play quite often.
Yeah.
So those feelings stick with me and are very, 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 very repetitive.
And they're dialed.
And they're always with me. It's almost like muscle memory. But you can't just go into autopilot. That won't work. So one thing is, playing enough and then executing those feelings often enough to create that consistency.
Perfect. That's awesome. Like I said, it's a great little insight into the mindset and the understanding of how you approach your own golf game. And everyone's different. It's an individual sport, but that's awesome. But I think it's a really good place to sort of leave it for that sort of topic. We will provide some updates, I suppose, with how our games are going week by week or fortnight by fortnight, whatever it might be. Yeah. You've got Q School coming up, which I'm really excited for.
I'm more than excited
in
for.
April. That's going to be a massive thing, and we're going to cover that a lot.
My confession.
Yeah.
My confession. I forgot the confession. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, you threw a club.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did.
So in episode 1, we did some. We sort of gave each other a little goal. My back was cooked and I wanted to break 80. I didn't. I failed. But I also got out there, which was the second half of the goal. Yours that I set for you was to not throw a golf club, and you lasted 3 weeks.
I did so well, though.
You did.
For every round I played.
Considering you just told me you play 4 times a week and you lasted 3. You played 12 rounds of golf, essentially.
Well, not 12 rounds. I played 4 rounds. But
4 rounds, but
I played 12 times.
Yeah. You had a golf club in your hand on 12 separate days at least.
Yes, within 3 weeks.
And you did not throw a golf club. It's commendable. But also, what happened?
Once again, I'm just going to quickly disclose this. I can't say I throw clubs in turn.
You're not
It's
a helicopter.
It's just the silver bird as far as I can throw it. Or
No.
I'm not a club snapper. I don't break shit.
Yeah.
I turn to my bag and just give it a quick little toss at it. It's just
Get lost.
Get out of my hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a little frustration. Yeah. Right. I don't throw it overly hard because I don't want it to break. But it's just a little frustration. Oh my god! And then it's done. Today, I play with Remy. Right?
Oh, Daniel
play
Remy,
with
yeah,
Remy,
friend of the
and
show.
he's been invested in the into the podcast. He's been listening to him. He's been giving us our feedback. Awesome. He's been telling us what he likes. Great, right? Perfect.
Good friend of ours, yeah.
Right. So we'll chat a tiny bit about it today. And on 13, I hit this little sort of Healy push cut and lost the ball on 13. I don't know how it was
St.
lost.
John?
Yeah. It just went into like a little bit of cabbage sort of stuff and it just disappeared, right? So I had to pick up and I'm like fuming at this point because I still had plenty of scoring holes coming up. I could have shot a better score. But anyway, I made double there and then birdieing the next two. So
You got it back straight away.
So I got it back straight away. And that's another thing about that belief is just back it and patience to make those birdies. Even though I made a double, a lot of people think round's over. No. I can still shoot under par here.
Yeah.
And back it, trust the process, stick with your feelings.
We've said that. Talk to me about
Execute.
how you threw your club.
17th hole, par 3.
You don't tell me you threw your putter.
No. Oh my God, I would never throw that.
Yeah, good.
I would throw a child before I threw that. I'm not kidding. I am saying this with a dead straight face. I would throw a child
Okay. Anyway.
before I throw that
What
putter.
club?
It was 17 par 3 pins up the sort of middle left ish, or sort of back middle left, and it was slightly back into a tiny breeze.
Yeah.
Right, so it was 171 to the hole. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a 6-iron working from right to left. Just it's gonna complement it. Anyway, I got it started a bit too straight. It started middle green, and it started drawing towards the hole, and it was gonna overdraw into the bunker. What I thought was into the bunker, and because I wanted to hit such a good shot so fucking badly, and like, yeah, of course I wanted to make birdie, but I just wanted to give myself a chance at birdie because I'm like, something's got to drop eventually. Fuck. So if I had a birdie putt, I'm gonna.
That one
hopefully
was gonna
hole
be
it.
the one.
That one was going to be the one.
Yeah.
Anyway, luckily it held up on the hill and I was able to make it up and down. So I made me up and down, but I turned to the cart. And just chucked it in the air. I didn't throw it. Like I didn't fucking over the shoulder throw it, but I just chucked it and it's like tumbled into the cart and just fell on the floor.
Jesus.
And I looked at Remy and went, no. He goes, he just shook his head. He goes, didn't last long. I'm like, it did. Fuck off. It did. It lasted long time-ish, but it lasted long enough. But I realized the second that club left my hand, I'm like, fuck. I'm
Good. You
I'm
know
going to have
what?
to confess this now.
Good.
So now I'm conscious of it.
And we're going to hold you accountable because I'm going to leave
Exactly
that.
what Remy said.
I'm gonna leave that as your goal for now because I feel like 3 weeks for your first go. It's not like
I feel like a fucking toddler.
it's. I was about to say it's like trying to quit.
That's
it's
my
trying
frustration
to quit
method.
the darts.
That is
right?
my frustration method.
Okay,
It's just
good.
to let go of the golf club. It's not throwing, slamming, snapping. It's not. It's let go of it.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
So yeah, unfortunate, but keep at it because I think it's a good thing for you in your game.
New person.
You're a new person, and I like it. I like it. Now, this year, 2024, is a big year for the two of us because our little rivalry that our golf clubs that we represent that they have is being sort of expelled in pennant this year.
Oh, yeah, the Div 3 pennant season. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Division 3 pennant season here in Victoria. So the club I'm a member at Heidelberg and the club that Joel has done his traineeship at and is still a very big part of.
Yeah.
Rosanna.
Yeah.
Are you playing pennant this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing. So
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you go. So
Played Sunday.
they're in the same division for the first time in a while.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
We're going to get into, I think, the nitty gritty of what the rivalry is. Maybe another day.
Yeah,
but
we'll do that another
You had
day.
a bit of a story about your experiences on the weekend that you wanted to share very quickly, and without sort of
couple minutes. I won't say too much.
don't.
So
I think it's better if you don't.
we
Do you want me to sort of?
No,
we want to go.
so I didn't play round 1.
Okay,
Right, so
It's round
because I
2
was
this
away.
week.
It's a round 2, by the way. Round 3 was next week because it's a long weekend this
long
week.
weekend.
So I play round 2 and 3, round 2, 3, and 4.
Okay,
So I'll play 3 rounds in a row, then maybe like the 6th one, and that's it because Q school gets in the way, and then something blah blah blah. We played at this particular place, round 2, and it's not my favorite place from the start, but I honestly, it got to a point within the round that I said to my opponent, we'll all square, by the way, we'll about square 1 under. We're sort of floating around there. There was some good golf. There was a couple average holes in there.
Yeah. And you told me that you'd found out that your match no longer mattered because the other matches around Joel had been won in your favor. So Rosanna had won the day.
We were 5-1 up.
Yeah.
So our number 7 lost, and the next 5 straight had won.
Right.
So win, lose or draw.
Doesn't
we can't have a
affect
draw, but win or lose, mine does not matter to the result. We have won the day.
Yeah.
An extra match is good, is handy, but anyway. So I'm standing on 14T after
Finding this out,
hitting a putt previous hole that, when I tell you, it's like putting on Lego. This place, it is like putting on the road.
Right.
You hit it, it just, you have no idea. No idea. And it gave me such little confidence over putts this long. And that's not what I need.
No.
That's not what I need, especially with tournament golf coming up and some form that I need to be in. I actually felt like saying to my opponent, I said, mate, I almost want to concede the match just because I feel like my golf's going to be affected.
That's bad. That is bad for a golf course to put you in that frame of mind.
I didn't because I'm not that sort of person. I'm like, no, my mentality is I want to win.
Yeah.
Right. And I end up winning after chipping in on the playoff hole. But
and I know you and your mentality. For you to say that means that this golf course, we won't mention them, but this golf course in particular was so substandard.
I've previously played it in years previous, and it's shut up. I've played it a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was all right.
Yeah.
It was all right. A bit of a ways to go. I love the layout of the place.
Yeah.
It has some really cool holes.
Yeah.
Really good holes. It was just the standard of it. I'm just like,
and for a venue that's going to host a pennant match.
Yeah, but it's
not.
It was a bit disappointing to see such a place that has a lot of potential not live up to the standard it should be at.
I'll summarize by saying this. There's 3 times a year that we as members at our club get excited for. Clubbies, Pro-am, and pennant.
Yeah.
Because the course is always going to be absolutely schmicko for those 3 events.
Yeah.
They're pretty spaced out throughout the year.
Yeah.
And those 3 weeks or whatever it might be, the course is mwah.
Yeah.
For you to turn around and give me a call and say, have a listen to this story.
Yeah.
And what you told me was...
I'm really hoping...
And we don't know what's going on.
No, exactly.
This place might be battling with some diseases that are going through the place. They might be short of funds. They might be short of water.
That's another thing. I really hope this place can find its feet because, like I said, it has potential, man.
So what you're saying is it's basically scrapping it and starting it again.
No.
In terms of...
No, I wouldn't. It
needs something.
It needs a boost. It needs a kick up the ass. And it might be just like every club does. It starts off red hot.
Yep.
Just goes down,
yep,
and then it's on its way back up. I don't know, but I really wish it was.
But on that Sunday, it was no good.
Yeah, I really wish it was better than what it was, and it did disappoint me. And at times, it really, I wouldn't say it distracted me from the round, but it was definitely in the back of both our heads going, this is really difficult to play a match here.
That's upsetting. We don't want to see golf courses like that.
Yeah, no, we always want golf courses to be up to standard. But
very well. Questions from the second cut.
Yes,
I've got mine. Have you got yours?
I don't.
You don't have any?
No, I do.
Go. I was going to say, come on, mate. My question for you is, I'm going to give you 2 shots. I want you to pick one that you feel most confident to pull off yourself.
Interesting.
Right?
I actually had a very, very, very similar question to this.
Your choices are between Tiger's chip at 16 in 05 at Augusta, that famous one that just
the chip in,
or Bubba Watson's hook wedge from 100 and whatever it was out in, I think it was either 10, 11 or 12.
It was on the 10th hole.
On the 10th?
Yeah.
Either in 10, 11 or 12, one of those years. So
no, it was either 12 or 14.
Okay.
That was the 2.
I think it was maybe the year he won it.
Might have. Oh, well, he won both.
Yeah, there you go.
But 12 or 14. I don't know.
My Masters history is not the greatest. Yeah. But I remember those 2 shots specifically.
Which one would I rather pull off?
No, which one would you prefer? Like, which one do you think you could pull off more? Or would you give yourself the most, like, to the exact same standard? Either you've got to hold Tiger's chip exactly the same way it goes in, or you've got to pull off Bubba's hook wedge from the trees exactly how it goes on.
Probably Tiger's chip because I can get a wedge moving. I can. But not like that, man.
No.
From 100 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Getting the ball coming in with a 56 degree or whatever he hit, coming in sideways.
Yeah.
Up a hill from downhill lie. I reckon after a few attempts, I could probably hit the green.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But not put it to what he put it to.
But not the shot he hit.
Nah.
I don't think I could do that. I reckon the Tiger chip, I'll be more likely to get it coming out low, skidding and spinning to a point on the hill where it'll start trickling down. I reckon I'll have more chance of doing that in less attempts.
Yeah. I reckon I'd probably give myself Tiger's chip as well. But
As unbelievable as that is.
It's so good. But I also would want to do it with a putter. I don't think I could do either of them, to be perfectly honest.
Well, you do.
Yeah, I'd want to hit Tiger's chip with a putter.
With a putter, yeah, just
and
do that.
Still,
Or
still pop it up in the air.
Just throw it.
Hit me with your question, go.
Okay, what would you rather have in your game?
Okay.
Rory McIlroy off the tee
Or
Tiger's putting in his prime?
it's simple. It's a simple thing. Neither. They suck.
Jeez, you heard it here first.
You had it here first.
Did you say they both suck?
No, I don't. I'm joking, by the way.
Yeah.
Please. Tiger's putting.
Yeah, okay.
I think look up a video. Do me a favor. Look up 2 videos. One of Rory off the tee.
With your game currently.
Yeah, Tiger's putting all day long.
Tiger's putting.
All day long. Because I feel like I'm still confident enough to, with the rest of my game as it is, if I knew that I had Tiger Woods stepping up and putting all my putts.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
See, I'll do Rory off the tee.
Yeah, but you've always hit it a little way. You want length.
Yeah, I'm looking for length.
Yeah.
I've found a bit of length the last year and a half or so. Just picking up a little bit of speed and just getting me more confident with it. But I'd take hitting it 320 yards off the tee pretty much every time. Because
landing it on a 50-cent piece.
Just because of the confidence I have with a short club.
Yeah.
And the more confidence I have off the tee, the better. Yeah.
We're reversed in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because as good as Tiger's putting is, I back myself once again. That's that confidence within that short range as well. And I back myself with that what's the word? Patience.
Yeah,
patience.
Yeah.
Within it's just I know if I can hit it 320 yards pretty consistently off the tee and straight.
Yeah, you're going to start shooting
I'm
numbers.
going to be shooting some serious numbers.
Yeah.
I wish I'd choose that.
Well, there you go. Very interesting. Bit of a differing opinion.
Yeah.
Next week, we don't normally disclose. I don't think I've mentioned this to you, but
here we go.
we don't normally disclose what we want to have a chat about in future. We just sort of say, we'll bookmark that for a future episode. But I'm pretty confident that this is what we're going to have a chat about next week.
Okay.
Public golf courses and their standing on Australian golf in particular, and sort of our affiliations with them. Because we both started off.
Yeah, we both started
off at public golf courses.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of news
still at a
recently going around the state with some. Sorry,
You're still at a public track?
Oh yeah, I'd like to think,
I'm
kidding. There's been a bit of news about some public golf courses in the media recently, and I want to touch on them a little bit. So we'll get stuck into that next week. But for this week, I think that's a great way to wrap up our little two-parter that we've had.
Yep.
Look out for more of those in the future. If we start coming up with some more ideas that we could split up into 2.
And the good thing is, in coming episodes as well, particularly with Q School coming up, I'll probably go through some mentality and preparation. And
April's a big month for us.
Huge.
April's a big month for us. So just keep an eye on everything. Stay tuned because there's a lot of good things coming for us in the next couple of months. But as I said, it's a great way to wrap up the two-parter that we've just had.
Yeah.
A good little insight into both our handicaps, and I was really taken away by yours, and that mentality side of things is really good. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for us today.
Yep.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this week. Be sure to keep an eye on all our socials, Instagram and TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Massive shout out as well to the Heidelberg Golf Club, Toby Walker, Cam Kelly and Tony Shaw for giving us some interviews over the Pro-am. We apologise again for not being able to use those.
A little bit of exposure.
Bit of exposure as well.
Sort of helped out a little bit, especially with that Pro-am.
A massive amount. And yeah, we've got some exciting announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks as well, which I'm keen to share with you all, but we got to keep them sort of under wraps at the moment. But yeah, thank you again for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you very, very soon. Like and subscribe. Cheers. Congratulations on your award.
Oh, yeah, a couple accolades.
Absolutely.
La-di-da.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers.